Richard Childress is making Joe Gibbs look bad over Kyle Busch. So what happened recently between the two racing teams? And what was the motive behind Joe Gibbs Racing's shocking accusation? And with that W, what does Denny Hamlin have to say about it? With all of these questions in mind, let's get into today's video at the NASCAR Zone. But before we dive into that, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Joe Gibbs reached out to a co-owner at JTG Daugherty for assistance when he was having trouble finding sponsors for Kyle Busch's 2023 NASCAR season during the spring of the previous year. Who could have known that the owner on whom he should have relied for competent guidance was Richard Childress? The most recent information to come from Richard Childress Racing provides further evidence that the sales and marketing staff at Joe Gibbs Racing either was not up to par or simply did not want to bring Busch back to the organization. According to the announcement made by Richard Childress Racing, the company NetSpend, which specializes in providing financial tools for companies and individuals, will serve as a sponsor for Kyle Busch in the NASCAR Cup Series for an undetermined number of races. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix will be one of the races in which the number 8 Chevy will promote the new partner. This race will take place at the Circuit of the Americas, which is located close to the headquarters of NetSpend in Austin, Texas. According to the president of NetSpend, Kelly Knutson, both Richard Childress Racing and Kyle Busch are carrying out their ambitions every day, has won several championships and some of the most prestigious events in the world of motorsports. Adam Stern, a reporter for Sports Business Journal, tweeted that RCR is practically sold out on the number 8 Chevy for the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season. This was done in conjunction with the news of the sale. Richard Childress is bringing JGR into disrepute in regard to Kyle Busch. The fact that Richard Childress Racing is close to selling all of the primary sponsorships for Kyle Busch's car may be misleading due to the fact that we do not know how much Mars Incorporated was paying for nearly exclusive sponsorship at Joe Gibbs Racing in recent seasons. Some reports put the figure at $20 million to $25 million. RCR might agree to accept less money for each race in order to clear out its stock. Fans follow the tale throughout the year, despite the fact that Busch and Joe Gibbs had nothing to offer in the way of updates. In 2021, Mars Incorporated, the company that makes M&Ms, informed JGR that the 2022 season would be its final season in NASCAR. In May, Gibbs took the unprecedented step of reaching out to Tad Geschichter for assistance in establishing contacts with sponsors who had the potential to fill the void left by Mars Incorporated in the roster. In addition to being a friend of the Gibbs family, Geschichter is a co-owner of JTG Daugherty Racing. This particular racing team is responsible for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s number 47 Chevy in the NASCAR Cup Series and receives significant financial support from the Kroger Supermarket Company. Busch ended up at RCR, which has been very active in the sponsorship deal-making process, but unfortunately, nothing came of it. The majority of Tyler Reddick's sponsors continue to support his number 8 Chevrolet. Cheddar's Scratch Food, 3Chi, Lenovo, Benton GM, and Alsco Uniforms are among the 2022 RGR partners who are supporting Busch's car. If those companies are still involved with Richard Childress Racing in 2024, then it will be a huge victory for Kyle Busch, and it will be a black eye for Joe Gibbs Racing. But recently, something eye-opening came to revelation by Denny Hamlin that may prove that Joe Gibbs Racing was right at one point.
Kyle Busch won, and boy, I tell you, the old fans are having a heyday with the JGR Twitter right now. See, we told you, you know.
Yep.
I mean, people have to understand that Joe Gibbs wanted to sign Kyle Busch. They really tried, and they gave him a very, very good offer, but he did not want to take it and ended up taking probably a lot less because he had ran out of options at RCR. But, you know, he's doing all the right things right now. That's for sure. I mean, listen, Rick Hendrick did not let go of Kyle Busch because he didn't think he was talented, right? There was some baggage, and he did some things that rubbed Mr. H wrong, and they moved on. And I think that, the Kyle Busch fans should be grateful of Joe Gibbs Racing. They got Kyle 50-some of his wins, right? And they provided him great equipment. But that relationship just had run its course, unfortunately. When they always say that, like, winning makes everything easy, right? It covers up things.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do win, I think that, teams are willing to put up with a whole lot of other stuff. But, when it got to the point where, it wasn't winning as much, there was not a person in the garage that thought that it was, Kyle Busch is just not the driver he once was. We all know he is, especially a motivated Kyle Busch, which there's two very different things, like just the ticked off Kyle Busch and the one that's, kind of angry with people and he's frustrated, and then the one that's motivated is two totally different guys, and you really kind of can see that on the racetrack as well. And I think he's ultra motivated right now. I think this is a reset for him, and he's resetting with a team that's very good, as we're seeing, right? That 8 team, Randall and that team, they're fast. They were the fastest car last year, and they definitely had the fastest car this year, that's for sure. I mean, I thought that the one for the first part of the race probably showed the most strength, especially on the short run, but the 8 just kind of ran them down, and he runs that track so well. It's amazing. But, yeah, I mean, I see y'all are dragging JGR, and I wish, even if I'm unbiased here, like, this was a tough situation where, I think that it was a situation where they wanted him back. They lost a ton. That company would cease to exist if they had to pay Kyle what he was demanding, especially after losing, Mars. Like,
right.
It'd be impossible. It would be a detriment to all the JGR teams if he had to said, all right, well, you have to pay me this, which is what he said, or else I'm leaving. They had to make a business decision to stay in business.
Kyle Busch had a fantastic start to the 2023 season, winning the championship at the Auto Club Speedway in the season's opening event. The first year of the Americans' employment with Richard Childress Racing has gotten off to a promising start for them. Austin Dillon, the grandson of Richard Childress, pushed to have Kyle Busch join the team and was successful in his efforts. Following the completion of the Pala Casino 400, he stated, "I'm delighted Kyle's over here. Simply put, it's a fantastic match. My good friend Kyle and I have a lot of fun just hanging out together and talking about race cars. It's great to see him achieve his first win at RCR, which seems like home for him now. Evidently, that took place quite quickly." During the previous season, Tyler Reddick was the driver of the number 8 car, which finished first in 3 different races. Busch took over the number 8 car when Reddick, who was headed for the 2311, was substituted. The crew for the number 8 squad has now changed, and Chief Randall Burnett continues to lead them. During the news conference for the race's winner, the crew chief for the number 8 car stated,
Bob Hawkers, Fox Sports. How many races can you win this year with Kyle Busch?
I don't know. I hope to be in here a lot more. He's pretty incredible talent. Obviously, I think everybody knows that, and blessed to be working with that kind of talent. We've got a great group on that 8 crew. Those guys work their guts out. A lot of talent on that team, and to mix Kyle in with that, and he gets along with all the guys, and everything's been good so far. So I think we've been, we've between the Clash and the 150s and in the 500, and now I think we've led laps in every race, or we're at least battling for the lead. So we've been there every race so far, and hopefully we don't see an end to that anytime soon.
After scoring a victory at Fontana, Kyle Busch established himself as an early contender for the championship. Overall, this weekend was the one that broke all sorts of records for Kyle Busch. With accumulating victories over the course of 19 seasons, Busch surpassed the NASCAR legend Richard Petty. The year 2005 marked the year that the American driver took the checkered flag first at the Auto Club Raceway. With a combined 95 victories, brothers Kyle and Kurt Busch set a new record for the most amount of wins ever achieved by a sibling team. the dude moved ahead of Denny and Bobby Allison, who were previously tied with them at 94. After claiming victory in the 61st race of the Cup Series, Busch is confident that he has many more victories in him. Do you also think that Busch has more victories to win this season? Tell us in the comments. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.